Right, shall we start then? Good evening and welcome to this meeting of Woodley Town Council's planning and committee members being held on today's date. Woodley Town Council meetings are now recorded, with recording streamed live and stored on the Town Council's YouTube channel. By virtue of attending the meeting, you consent to having your image and audio recorded for this purpose. If you do not wish for your image and audio to be recorded, then please do not stay for the meeting. For those in attendance, we're not expecting a fire drill tonight, so if you do hear the fire alarm, please head to the nearest fire exit and congregate at the fire assembly point, which is by the Oakley Centre at the front of Woodford Park. Thank you. So item 1 on tonight's agenda is apologies. Do we have apologies, Matthew?
Yes, we have apologies from councillors Bragg, Guttridge and Horskins. Councillor Horskins is attending the meeting virtually.
Thank you. Item 2, do we have any declarations of interest from members about anything on the agenda tonight? No. We are to approve the minutes of the Planning and Community Committee meeting held on the 19th of May 2026, and I will sign them as a true and correct record at the end of the meeting. Are there all those in favour of the minutes of the meetings? Please raise your hand. That's everybody, isn't it?
Yeah,
thanks. Thank you. Item 4 is to review the actions and follow-ups from the previous meetings of the committee, which are on page 10. So, as last month, it's about the implementation of the local plan. Wokingham have confirmed the examination period has delayed the final publication for the local plan. A final hearing week has been scheduled for week commencing 22nd of June. And if that doesn't take place, they've booked for the week commencing the 2nd of July, if required. And following this, they can guess that the final information from the inspectors will be take place after the autumn, after the summer holidays. So that was last updated on the 11th of the 6th, so we've got no more updates on that one. The item 172 is members to consider the potential locations for new town council notice boards. We are waiting for this to go to strategy and resources. Once it says potential locations to be presented to planning and community for consideration once the funding is confirmed. So that's where we are with that one. Cycling and walking group. Councillor Taylor has advised that the group does not have the capacity to progress at this time. You have some information, Carol?
Yeah, just to really update it, because that's back in February 2025. Yeah. We're just doing the last part of checking out the safer or quieter, I should say, routes for walking and cycling Woodley according to our map. So just the last 6 routes to do, and then we're hoping we can sort out signage and get the whole thing mapped and out for public consumption.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Carol. And the next item, Carol, if you can help us with as well.
There is a meeting being held, and I'm waiting to find out what came of that, because it was between various councils about the guidelines. So I'm sorry, it seems to be taking forever, but I'll get back to you.
I look forward to the update when that happens then. And the last one is that's been completed, about the re-procurement of the Borough Council's bus network. Well, the details have been received by Wokingham and they're circulated to members via email between meetings. And we've got it on the agenda for noting later on. Thank you.
So is it including the Twyford bus network?
I think it's on the agenda, it'll be further on the agenda as we go through. So we'll have a bit more information on that, according to that. Item 5, current planning applications.
I'll just make a comment at the moment. So we've got a few residents here about a couple of applications that haven't appeared on our agenda tonight, where we did receive the planning notifications, but due to an officer error, they haven't ended up on the agenda. So those applications are 260727 relating to 57 Arundel Road and 260986, which is the land to the north of 6 Woodlands Avenue. Having spoken to the chair of the meeting, the intention is that I will be circulating that information either directly after this meeting or first thing tomorrow morning to all members, so that they've got all those informations to look at and confirm and consider, so they can have time to look at it, and we'll make sure the Town Council's comments are submitted by the deadline. But for those of you here, I think the Chairman's going to take both of those in order and ask you for any comments that you want to make tonight, so that they have that context when they consider the application, and obviously it means your night's not wasted as well, because they'll have that information. But just so you know, the councillors won't have spent time looking at the application, so they won't have the information. So
we'll hear your comments for tonight.
Do those first.
Have them prepared. So the first one is 260727 57 Arundel Road. So who do we have here? Would you like to talk to us about your comments?
Yeah, sure. Good evening. We are the owners of number 59 Arundel Road. We would like to briefly state our concerns. We have submitted a detailed objection comment to the website already. The main concern is enclosure and the overbearing impact. The extension rear portion would be very large and dominant, because the boundary line is excluded and the rear portion continues as 2-story height and beyond the length of our existing single story extension. It would introduce a much larger build form than the current exists. This would feel oppressive from our side and reduce the sense of openness. We are also concerned about the effects on our attached garage wall and roof with our house. Particularly, the rainwater from the new wood direction is towards our flat roof and causing long-term damage. In addition, the raised platform and the grated outstanding at the rear has already affected our privacy, because it allows overlooking into our garden and home. The council is respectfully requested to take this existing relationship into account when assessing the current application. We have prepared notes about our concern for your reference.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's on 7. Is in more detail.
And you've also put comments on the website as well, I understand.
Yeah.
So that we've got plenty there to look at then for when more information. That's very kind of you to do that, and thank you
so much.
Thank you for coming in tonight. So we can keep that one then. That's brilliant. Does anybody else want to speak about that particular planning application? No? Okay. Well, thank you very much. And the next one in the same vein is application 260986, and this is land to the north of 6 Woodlands Avenue. And I understand that you're here for that as well?
Yes, I was, yes.
Yeah, okay, would you like
I have got comments. It's quite a lengthy comment, I must admit.
Okay.
I can read that out, or...
Is it yours also on the website?
Yes, mine's on the website.
Okay, well, we'd like to hear what you've got to say.
Okay, fine. Right. Dear Planning Officer, I wish to formally object to the planning application and respectfully request that the planning committee carefully consider the following concerns before determining this application. While the principle of the residential development may have been established through Commission in Principle reference 25150, the current application fails to demonstrate that the detailed design, environmental impact, infrastructure requirements and technical constraints may be safely addressed. Taken individually and collectively, the issues outlined below raise serious concerns regarding biodiversity, compliance, drainage, ecology, tree protection, residential amenity, highway safety and conformity with the scope of the permission in principle. I therefore request that the application be refused or deferred pending submission of the outstanding technical information. Number one, biodiversity net gain deficit. The strategy requirement under Schedule 7A of the Town and County Planning Act 1990, as amended by the Environment Act 2021, is a minimum of 10% biodiversity net gain. The Wessex report dated 27th of May 2026 explicitly confirms that the proposed development will result in a 14.5 net loss in off-site biodiversity. The applicant proposes to address this deficit by 0.02 of site habitat units from a registered biodiversity net gain provider. However, no provider has been identified, no legal agreement is in place, no evidence has been submitted that suitable units are available. The metric results indicate that the biodiversity trading rules have not been fully satisfied. Approving a development where mandatory compliance relies entirely on unconfirmed future off-site purchases would set a concerning precedent and may not satisfy the legal requirements at the point of determination. Number two, drainage, inadequate assessment. Drainage assessment replaced by Colony Architects is repeatedly described as preliminary and indicative only and does not constitute a detailed drainage design. The following critical work has not been undertaken. No topographic survey, no ground investigation, no infiltration testing, no hydraulic remodelling, no utility investigations, no sewer capacity assessment, no pre-application inquiry to Thames Water, no Section 104 or Section 106 discussions or agreements. The proposed drainage strategy relies entirely on discharge by the Thames Water Service water and sewer on Lytham Road. Thames Water have not confirmed network capacity, accessible discharge rates, or whether reinforcement works would be required. Infiltration has been ruled out due to the surrounding tree roots, protection areas, and no watercourses available. The only viable solution is therefore dependent upon third-party approvals that have not yet been sought. The application fails to demonstrate compliance with policy CC02 regarding water service management. 3. Tree risk to protected and adjacent trees. The arboricultural report identifies 8 individual trees and groups on the adjacent site. Ash tree T2 is already exhibiting signs of ash dieback, there's a long Latin word, including crown decline and poor form. Its roots. Protection area overlaps with proposed construction and access areas. Construction activity may accelerate decline or compromise structural stability. Further concerns relate to T6 sycamore, T7 oak category, B1 and T8 horse chestnut. These off-site treasure of moderate to high quality and their root protection areas extending to the development site. The report acknowledges that access roads require specialist noted construction. No structural engineer has designed the required solution. Utility routes have not been confirmed. Protective fencing positions remain unresolved. A pre-start meeting with the council arboricultural officer has not taken place. The statement that there is no reason to issue a service cannot avoid RPAs is not evidence that they can. Any damage to their mature trees would permanently harm local character and amenities. And before overlooking the loss of privacy, the proposed two-storey building contains first floor window facing, of neighbouring properties, including properties on Crockwell Road. Residents of 15 to 17 are likely to experience overlooking into gardens and rear-facing rooms, although some windows are proposed as obscure glazed. This treatment is selective and does not eliminate all potential lies of site. The council should carefully assess compliance with residential amenity standards relating to privacy and overlooking. And number 5, loss of light and overshadowing. The constrained nature of the site and proximity to neighbouring dwellings create a significant risk of overshadowing and loss of daylight. Despite this, no daylight assessment, sunlight assessment or shadow study has been submitted. The omission prevents a full assessment of impacts on neighbouring gardens and habitable rooms. 6, scale and massing out of character. The surrounding area is characterised by spacious detached and semi-detached dwellings within relatively generous plots. The proposal introduces a building containing 3 residential units on a site of only approximately 724 square metres. Density development proposed is disproportionate to the surrounding and represents overdevelopment which is out of keeping with local character. Number 7, backland development, visual amenities. The site constitutes backland development on land previously experienced as part of the open gardening ground for the environment of the existing properties. The proposal would reduce visual openness. After established room views erode spacious garden character and change the appearance of the area when viewed from neighbouring properties. The development will permanently alter the characters currently experienced from surrounding gardens and properties. Number 8, construction impact. Construction activity likely to generate significant disruption through heavy goods vehicle movements, noise, dust, vibration and traffic disruption. The access arrangements from Lyther Road are constrained and located immediately adjacent to the residential properties. No construction management plans have been submitted, preventing proper assessment of these impacts. Number 9, parking and highway safety. Although additional parking spaces are proposed, great concerns remain regarding highway safety. The layout relies on a shared turning area acted directly from Lyther Road. No independent highway safety audit or set path analysis has been submitted to demonstrate that vehicles can safely enter or manoeuvre within and exit the site without conflict with pedestrians, especially as the proposed exit is next to the pedestrian crossing, which is used by the public, elderly, children and staff and pupils from Addington School and other road users. Noise and disturbance to other residents. The communal parking area, cycle storage and refuse storage are all positioned close to the neighbouring boundaries. Noise arising from vehicle movements, residents' activity, waste collection is likely to affect neighbouring residents. No account assessment has been submitted to qualify or assess these impacts. Inadequate pre-development ecology survey. The baseline habitat survey relied upon for biodiversity net gain calculations undertaken on the 15th of July 2025, nearly a year before the submission of the application. The ecology report acknowledges that the red line boundary was later extended northwards to include the existing car park areas. That area was not resurveyed and were made regarding its ecological value. Assumption-based assessments do not provide a robust ecological baseline for the full application site. Number 12, condition in principle, scope of consent. The application seeks technical details consent pursuant to permission in principle, reference 251580. While the proposed 3 units fall within the approved range of 2 to 4 dwellings, concerns arise regarding the application's boundary. The current red line boundary appears to extend beyond the areas considered under the original permission in principle, particularly the incorporation of the northern car park areas. Any development outside the approved boundary would not benefit from the permission in principle, and this matter should be clarified before consent is granted. Affordable housing. No affordable housing provision has been discussed within the submitted documentation. The council should satisfy itself that all relevant obligations and contributions have been considered, including community infrastructure levy liability. The submitted CIL documentation appears incomplete in several respects, and the validity of the application should therefore be confirmed. Conclusion. The application is not supported by sufficient technical evidence to justify approval at this stage. Significant unresolved issues regarding biodiversity, compliance, drainage, ecology, tree protection, residential amenity, highway safety and conformity with the scope of the permission in principle. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the Wokingham Borough Council either refuse the application or defer determination until the outstanding technical information is provided and independently assessed.
Thank you. You've provided us with a lot of information to go through. No, that's fine. We and you say it's on the website, so we can go through that over the next few days when we'll be looking at it virtually and we've got more information. Can I ask your address in relation to 17? Yeah, thank you.
That's on the comments.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, anybody on the committee would like to ask any questions about this, as much as we know so far? No. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming down and expressing your thoughts. And again, as we've explained, we will be going through it thoroughly and reporting back. No, it's good that you want to turn out and do it. Thank you very much. Is there anything else more you want to add, or you?
No, the only slight issue is probably there's a cycle shed, brick shed that's being knocked down with a roof that we all use.
Oh, okay.
And the proposal is to put just a bicycle rack in its place, which is a shame really, because it's probably on the original deeds, and that may be an issue later on when somebody wants to sell a property. I don't know.
Right.
That's the only issue.
A lot to look into there. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
The other gentleman that's here, are you here for a particular planning application?
Yes, I'm here for planning application 261252.
15 Carlton Close. So we will we'll bring this one forward if the members are all happy with that, which will save you having to sit through the rest of the planning applications. So this is it's a householder application for the proposed erection of a single-storey rear extension with a parapet flat roof plus the addition of 2 roof lights. Would you like to let us know your comments?
Yes, thank you very much indeed. I have passed comments on to Councillor Jewell, who already holds those details, and she and I have been in communication. I do not have an objection in principle, but the current plans show an extremely narrow gap between properties.
That's right.
It will not allow access for maintenance, repair or cleaning. My concern is that could eventually lead to damage to both properties. I have suggested that the extension as proposed should be built at least 1 metre distance from the existing property. As I have also commented, there are examples around Woodley, I'm afraid to say, of property extensions that have been built with very narrow gaps, and they can be seen to have detritus, waste, leaves and twigs in them. There's a very fine example down Arundel Road, which already has a tree growing in it, which I don't want to have between our two properties.
Yes. Do we have any comments from any of our committee members at the moment before we take a vote on this? Carol?
Yes, in the discussion with the neighbour, not the applicant, there was talk of a party wall application. So another solution might be to butt up to the existing, the neighbour's property, do it that way. But I think it's very much
Without leaving a gap at all then?
But of course, it's not something we can, suggest. It's got to be something that either is sorted out between neighbours, or if the planning officer says that that gap is not acceptable, then he might suggest something else. So I think we probably need to wait and see, but I'm concerned about that very narrow gap.
Yes, and those are quite valid comments, aren't there? So, sorry. Oh, sorry, just 1 second, Robert. Sorry.
If I could just follow up on the party wall concept. I've reviewed the current location, and our existing extension is within our side of our property, probably about 15 to 20 centimetres. So if they create a party wall, they will be going across the common boundary.
Right, well, that's
So I suspect that a party wall application would not be an acceptable solution.
okay. Thank you very much. Robert?
Thanks, Janet. Hello, Stuart. It's Robert here down in Lewin, Cornwall. Now, I have every sympathy for Stuart, and I would have said the party wall would have been a solution. But having heard what he's just said about how far it is onto his property, then that is an issue. However, I think it's unfair to expect the applicant to have a metre's gap on their side when your extension is already there, because you haven't got a metre gap on your side. What the solution is, I do not know. I don't believe, though, given all these facts, that as a committee we can object to this application. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, what do we think then? I was wondering if we would object, because there may be more that needs to be looked at, but I'll take the view of the committee based on the objections. Are we minded to say that we recommend this goes through, or do we object? What do you think, Carol?
We can't refuse it or place our objections or whatever, but I think that gap between that will be, if we take what's there at the moment and what's planned to be built, is unacceptably narrow, and I think we should just say that we're concerned about that and then leave it with the planning officer to take it from there.
So in principle, the actual building that's going to be done is okay, but then there are these issues.
Yeah.
So do we then say that we accept this then, or we refuse?
We can't refuse.
That's what I mean. So we accept it, but with these note the comments from the neighbour and from you and from Robin.
Then planning officer needs to be involved, and they needs to sort out the solution.
So there's more to follow.
Yeah.
Really. So we say yes.
Raise your concerns
But
about
without-
the distance
plus without
between
concerns.
the property boundary and the development. Yeah.
Yes, I'd be happy with that. I think that's a good compromise. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Robert. Okay, then we will move on. I think if any of you would like to stay and see through the rest of our applications, you're very welcome.
It's very exciting.
It's a lovely way to spend an evening. Otherwise, we'll thank you very much for coming down, and you don't need to wait any longer. But thank you for all your comments and coming down. And we'll carry on with the planning applications as we've got. Thank you.
We get letter. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Good night. So, right back to.
See, I own a house with a gap that is 6 inches between the neighbour and the garage.
Yeah.
It's been there for 40 years, but you can't clean it, you can't maintain it, like I said, but it's not,
But then if the next one's already up to,
yeah, if the other one's up to,
if they had half a metre each,
yeah,
then that would be fair,
It would
wouldn't
be
it?
all right.
That's the dilemma.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So back to the beginning of the planning applications. The first one I've got is 261040 17 Vauxhall Drive. Householder application for the proposed erection of two-storey front extension, first floor side extension, single-storey rear extension and garage conversion to create habitable accommodation. Any comments? What did I say? A large extension. I thought there seemed to be enough room on the plot for it. Anybody else? Any other comments?
Comments.
Carol?
Yeah, I'd certainly put down large,
Yeah,
but I
that
didn't
was-
think the impact on the neighbour was huge. But I've also written down drainage, and I can't likely remember what I was thinking about that. So I don't know if there was a comment on drainage that was in the application, but I don't think there's any planning grounds to object to it.
No. 261104 177 Coleman's-Moor Road. Full application for the proposed change of use amenity land to residential garden, including the erection of a 2 metre high boundary fence setback from the highway. Any comments? I'm with Keith on this one. Amenity land being fenced in. Carol, what do you
It's a
think?
matter of principle, no.
That's, and I'm
They
on.
shouldn't be allowed to take
I saw
any-
with the photographs that I can see there are others that seem to have done the same thing, and that's, I think, is their point.
I think we should be consistent.
But we've always felt the same about this, haven't we? And again, who does the land belong to? Is always the tricky bit. If it's there for the amenity of the people who live nearby. Amenity means to enjoy, doesn't it? Anybody else got any thoughts on that? No. So we are minded to object to that. 261112 9 Hurricane Way. Oh, it's another one. Full application for the change of use of amenity land to residential garden. Retrospective. So does that mean it's already done
Pretty much.
without getting permission? Where do we stand on, if we are following on from the previous, am I assuming that we're going to say the same?
I would suggest that, yeah.
And I agree on that one. I think we all do. Retrospective means they've already done it, I presume, don't they?
That doesn't matter, we're looking at the principle of.
Yeah, so we're against that one. The next one is 261132, land adjacent to Huckleberry, Wangels Road, Charvel. Permission in principle application for the neighbouring parish. They want to, I'm not sure how we are involved in this. Can you explain,
Yeah, I mean,
Matthew, what are they asking us for?
So we are a statutory consultee because of the how close it is to the neighbouring boundary. So that's why we're contacted directly about it. Obviously, historically, this committee has fairly rarely made comments about applications that are near the boundary, but it really does depend on how close and what you think the impact would be on residents of Woodley for this. And obviously, this is relatively close to that boundary, but there are not many properties up in that neck of the woods.
Yes. What are we minded to? No objection. No. Ben, you the same.
No, it's fine. Thanks.
Okay, no objection. 261136 AN Motorsport Limited, Unit 2 Parkside Business Park. Full application for the proposed single-storey side extension to create infill between Unit 2 and Unit 6, plus associated parking. Any objections to this? No, me neither. No, no objections to this one. Nothing from Robert. 261166 53 Comet Way. Householder application for the proposed single-storey rear extension with 4 roof lights after demolition of the conservatory, partial demolition of the side external store and changes to fenestration. 2616. No, I got the same. No comment, no comment. Nothing from Robert. 261173 12 the Orangery. Household application for the proposed erection of a single-storey rear extension. Any objections? And also, I would sort of jump to 261228 number 10, which is the next door neighbour, and it appears they're doing them both at the same time, is from what I understood. Any objections to that one? We can move to do that one as well, I think. No objections to that or 261228. 261179 108 Reading Road. This is application to vary condition 2 of the planning permission of August 2025. They want to change. The variation seeks to allow revised approved plans, including alterations to the rear dormer, amendments to fenestration, revisions to the rear roof terrace, alterations to the dormer roof form and associated material changes. So they've had their approval on the first application and they just want to make some changes. Are any of them causing any concern? No? No? No objection to that one. Yeah? No, nothing from Robert. 261186 46 Rochester Avenue. Household application for the proposed erection of 2-storey side extension following demolition of existing attached garage, plus changes to fenestration. 2611. No objection, no objection, no objection to that one. Thank you. The next two are done. 261275 46 Haddon Drive. Householder application for the proposed erection of a single-storey rear extension. Any objections to that? Looks quite straightforward, doesn't it? No objections to that one. Nothing over there. 261293 60 Rochester Avenue. Householder application for the proposed erection of 2-storey side extension following demolition of the existing carport plus changes to fenestration. Any objections to that one? No, 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 no objections to that one. And lastly, oh no, there's 2 more, isn't there? That no, there's one. These are the 2 that I didn't have, aren't they? 261355 90 Elm Drive. Householder application for the proposed alteration of the rear elevation fenestration to facilitate the formation of an enlarged opening and installation of bifold doors.
I was surprised that they needed planning application for extending an opening for a different door or different window. I don't know whether permitted development rights were removed, and that's why they did. But
it seems, I don't remember
OTT
many people doing that, do you? But
I don't know the answer. I just thought I'd pose the question.
No, but in theory, for what we as we see it, no objection. Right, that's those. Let's go on to the other one. Item 6. Planning decision. To note information on decision notices received from the planning authority since the last meeting on page 14. That's what they've agreed. Yes. Page 14. Planning decisions. There's only 2. So they've agreed with us on these two, Hurricane Way and Frimley Close. Those. Item 7, to note the following appeal decision. 10 Mitchell Way, Reading. We objected to this one, and it looks as though Wokingham have agreed with us. We objected in the first place. The applicant has appealed, and the appeal has been upheld. Any comments on that? Item 8, enforcement notices. To note the new enforcement cases and closures on page 15. So these are the new ones. We've got 13 Cornfield Road, annex without planning permission. 33 Constable Close, cutting down trees subject to a TPO. 1 Hudson Road, Woodley, building work to take place without planning permission. So we'll hear about those in due course. Recently closed enforcement cases. So 3 Kingfisher Drive, Woodley, garage not built in accordance with approved plans, and it's decided that's no breach. 44 Coppice Road, car business operating from property without planning permission, is also no breach. Item 9. We discussed this last time, didn't we? This is about is this about the burger vans applications, wasn't it? So it's just saying, on page 16, let's see what they're saying.
So yes, there's a list of, as we mentioned last meeting, there was
applied,
expecting to be a list of more applications, but after the last committee meeting, when approval was given for trading at that site, and we submitted that to Woking Borough Council, we're now just bringing this so that you can know that those applications
they're the ones that are going, and then that decision will be made. So there's quite a few, aren't there?
You're going to need a bigger lay-by.
Yeah, especially as only one's going to get the permission, I presume.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Are there any new applications in this, or these are those which we discussed earlier?
These are the new ones that have come in since the last agenda. I can't imagine. I think there were 2 on the last. I think there was 2 on the last agenda, and Wokingham has said that there were going to be some more, and these coming. I think the deadline has now passed, so this should be it, and they'll obviously make a decision between those as to which one is awarded it.
It's all in the same space. Right. Okay, well, that's interesting. Item 10, Cycling and Walking Subcommittee. Report, we have a report to note, and there are no recommendations made for us to consider. Carol, you might want to add some more to that.
Yes, just in view of the fact that we've got this report, can we ensure that the actions and follow-ups reflect that, and we probably delete that item that goes back to February 2025, which was the information from June. Looks as if nothing's happening, but clearly it is. It's slow, but it's happening.
So, page 17. So this report updates. Oh, this is one on the 15th of September. Yeah. So it's just for us to note that that's where we are, and there were no recommendations to be brought to this meeting tonight. Okay. Everybody happy with that? Any comments? Item 11. Traffic regulation order. To consider the draft traffic regulation order in respect of the proposed 30 miles an hour speed limit around the Shepherd's Hill circulatory carriageway and its immediate surroundings, as in Appendix 11 on page 20. What do we think? It was 40, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't think many people will object.
It's down to what the traffic's like, I suppose.
If you try and pull out Marks and
Marks and
Spencer's
Spencer's.
or, God forbid, Majestic Wine, for those that go to Majestic Wine, if you're trying to pull out of there, it can be
Yeah.
quite dicey.
Do we have anything that we need that Matthew can pass on? Oh, Robert?
Yeah, just going to say I absolutely support this. It should be 30. If you're coming out of Pitts Lane and you're trying to get across to go down the A4 towards
way round,
Twyford, it is quite. You've got to take a leap of faith sometimes to get out of that junction.
Yeah.
And a bit of acceleration.
Yes, you do have to. And they come around that corner very quickly, don't they?
Yeah, some don't even indicate.
Yeah, it is quite scary.
There is no speed camera there. Sometimes there is a mobile police van, but
Yeah.
obviously it's once in a week. Otherwise, because there is no speed camera, so if you we do a few sessions there to monitor speed. Some are driving very fast.
Yes. Well, maybe that when it's reduced, if this happens, that it's reduced to 30, they might put up a camera or be a bit more vigilant, certainly to start with, because people won't realise that it's been changed.
I think if a camera is not installed, then
You feel
Yes.
that it will be
people
ignored.
some can still take advantage.
Yes, it's a tricky roundabout, isn't it? It's very
Today I
tricky.
have seen when I was coming from there on the Shenfield side. Believe me, one of the young lad, he was speeding more than 100, I believe. I said,
What, on that
happened?
roundabout?
Why he is going down there? Oh my goodness. I was surprised. Even the camera is there. Camera is there, but I'm not sure it's working or not. But one camera is there. But I was surprised. No, you just crossed.
Was it a car or a motorbike?
Car.
A car, wow.
Yeah, that's why I never seen before like this. And then when I saw the two police car as well, so I believe definitely someone is running from there or something.
I wanted to cross in front of
It's
that.
really
No, that sounds.
too much.
So our comments would be, if everybody's in agreement, that we totally support this recommendation. It needs to be done.
Yeah.
Well, that's our comments. Matthew. Item 12, bus services. To note both the updated position regarding the retendering of local bus services, which we circulated on the 2nd of June, and the press release issued by Wokingham Borough Council. This is just to look through. It's on page 26. We're all very interested in this, aren't we? Bus to Twyford is what we want. Page 26. So this is the proposal. Have you all seen the? This is only for us to note, so we're not asking for comments or anything. But
No, I think this is
how do you feel?
I think Mr. Matthew sent to the bar, and they haven't made any decision yet. I believe they're working on the one.
Yes, they're just keeping us informed of where they're at with those. So we will await.
Might be
With
the next
interest.
meeting.
We'll await with interest on that.
Might be Carol knows more than them.
I must say, in Woodley, we're very, very well off for buses, I think. We really are, which is good. So that's item.
But for the decision, sometimes it's taking but quite long, from many months or whatever is required here.
Item, oh, Bob's gone. Item 13, tree preservation orders. To note these applications, I'm sure you've all seen them. Vauxhall Drive, Addington School, Nightingale Road, Kingfisher Drive, Antrim Road. Anybody got any comments to say about those? Okay, we'll move on then to item 14. To receive an update on the council's community speedwatch activities. Do we have anything?
We don't have
That
any,
would be David, wouldn't it?
No, it would be
And James.
Councillor Taylor. Yeah, no, I know Councillor Taylor a few meetings ago indicated that until the cycling and walking routes had been finalised, she would be able to give attention back to this. So it'll be another few months, I would have thought.
Yeah, we'll just keep. And any highways issues that need highlighting that we're not already dealing with. Oh, Robert?
Sorry, I'm not sure if it's under highways or community issues. There's been quite a bit of concern over the planned charges at Ashenbury Park. Obviously, this is edging of my ward. A lot of people use this for walking their dogs. And some of those people are not so ambulant as others, so they do drive a relatively short distance to get there so they can walk their aged dogs and their aged themselves around the park. And I am concerned about that point. I'm also concerned that it's also a designated drop-off and pick-up point for parents collecting pupils from Wangels Copse College. And that facility will no longer be available to them without a cost. So that's going to increase the ever burgeoning queue of traffic along Tippings Lane and Denmark Avenue, picking up and dropping off children. And I think they really have dropped one on this, actually, bringing a flat charge of £2.50, where somebody may be only there for 5 or 10 minutes to drop off or pick up, is quite bad. I know we should be encouraging children to walk to school and or indeed cycle. But with people's busy lifestyles, they don't always have the time to do that. Also concerned that Wokingham Borough told us that they would consult the council if they were going to bring charges in, and they haven't done until we prodded them and asked. And I think that's really not on. It's almost just dismissing us as a council. So anyway, whether that's in highways issues or community issues, I hope I've got my point across. Thank you.
I think it's both, really. Either or.
Well,
I think either or. Thank you, Robert.
Chair, Councillor Jules got a hand.
Carol.
Just to give a bit more information, the plan is for the first 30 minutes in the dropping off and picking up times, morning and afternoon, that will be free.
Oh,
So people dropping their poor children who can't walk very far. Sorry. So for anybody using it for dropping off, collecting, there won't be a charge. If there's elderly dogs, maybe they can walk them in that 30 minutes as well.
I was just thinking that there's going to be some rapid dog walks, isn't there?
You have to get a wiggle on for that.
Yes, I think that's the only other information I've got, but there are throes of doing it at the moment. If anybody's got any ideas of how, what we could add to those works, I've suggested that the paths around are actually marked up with the meterage so that people can run or walk and know how far they've walked, so there can be a bit of some exercise regime. So that's what we've got.
Carol, do you know if they're going to put any parking restrictions on Denmark Avenue, because there's none at the moment there?
I'm not aware of any other. I think it could be considered, because I think parking charges inevitably incurs on-street parking. So yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that's looked at, but I don't know.
Thank you.
What I can just add to that is, following the conversations today, Woking Borough Council officer will be attending the next meeting of this committee, hopefully with the executive member as well, to give you more details of the proposed and draft TRO. It will probably be out to consultation by that point, but they're going to come and the start of the next meeting and provide you with some information and take questions and things.
Oh, that'd be good. We look forward to that, won't we? Thank you. That's a good update. Item 16, to note our. Oh, I don't know, because I said community. So I've moved on. Do we have any recent community issues to discuss? This is item 15. We've kind of blended in with the other proposals, haven't we? So that's fine, thank you. So item 16, to note the following publications. We have the newsletter for the Promise Inclusion newsletter of May 2026. So I'm sure we've all had a chance to have a look at that. Any comments on that? No. Item 17, future agenda items. Do we have any items for inclusion in future council agendas from anybody? No, not from that. Item 18, and again, any items to be publicised by the council under publicity and website, item 18. No, nothing on that. Well, I think that is the end of the agenda at 8:33.